At the beginning of the story, we meet a teenage boy named Dave. He's a very shy and ordinary kid who absolutely loves reading comic books. Nobody really likes Dave at school, but he does have two good friends named Todd and Marty. Dave spends a lot of time fantasizing about girls and imagining different romantic scenarios in his head. He also has a huge crush on a girl named Katie, and he's deeply in love with her. But because he's extremely shy, he never manages to confess his feelings. Katie barely even notices that he exists. We then learn that Dave's mother passed away because of high blood pressure. Even after such a painful loss, Dave tries to live his life normally because he believes that's just how real life works. He knows he's not some comic book superhero whose life is always exciting and perfect, without any pain or suffering. One day, Dave goes to a comic book store with Todd and Marty. While hanging out there, Dave asks them why nobody wants to become a superhero and help people in real life. Marty tells him that becoming a superhero is impossible because real people don't have superpowers. According to him, without powers, nobody can truly be a superhero. At that moment, we also see a guy named Chris, who happens to be the son of a local crime boss named Frank. Marty suggests that if Dave somehow became friends with Chris, nobody at school would ever mess with them again, because Frank is one of the most dangerous gangsters in the city. Dave actually tries to approach Chris and become friends with him, but Chris's bodyguards stop him before he can even get close and force him to leave. Later, Dave and Todd are walking home when two robbers suddenly show up and mug them. During the robbery, Dave notices a man standing by a nearby apartment window, watching everything happen. The guy clearly sees them getting robbed, but he completely ignores it and does nothing to help. That moment changes something inside Dave. He decides that he wants to become a superhero who helps people. He doesn't want anyone else to go through the same helpless situation he experienced. From that point on, he promises himself that he'll help anyone who truly needs it. After reaching home, Dave orders a green wetsuit from the internet so he can wear it while fighting crime and saving people. Once the suit arrives, he puts it on and starts acting like a real superhero. Surprisingly, the costume gives him a huge confidence boost, and for the first time in his life, he actually feels capable of helping others. Meanwhile, we see the crime boss Frank brutally torturing one of his own men because the guy betrayed him. Frank eventually kills him without any mercy. Afterward, Frank takes his son Chris out to watch a movie together. At the same time, we're introduced to a man named Damon and his 11-year-old daughter Mindy. Damon is training Mindy in extremely dangerous combat skills. He even makes her wear a bulletproof vest and fires bullets at her from close range to teach her how to survive gunshots and stay calm under pressure. Back on the other side of the city, Dave continues practicing to become a superhero. He even thinks about jumping off buildings for training, but fear stops him from actually doing it. After several days of self-training, Dave finally convinces himself that he's ready to fight crime and help people. A few days later, Dave spots the same two robbers once again trying to steal somebody's car. At first, Dave runs away from the scene, but we soon realize he only left to put on his superhero costume. As soon as Dave returns wearing the suit and confronts the criminals, the two thugs start laughing at him. But despite being scared, Dave still charges at them and starts fighting. Unfortunately, things go horribly wrong. The robbers stab him with a knife, badly injure him, and leave him bleeding on the street. As if that wasn't enough, a reckless driver suddenly crashes into Dave with his car, making his injuries even worse. Moments later, an ambulance finally arrives and rushes Dave to the hospital. After this, we see Frank having a business discussion with one of his men. Chris is there too, and he tells his father that he wants to help with the family business and work alongside him. But Frank refuses and tells Chris to stay away from all of that criminal activity. Because of this, Chris becomes really upset and walks away feeling ignored and disappointed. Meanwhile, Dave is finally discharged from the hospital. Before leaving, the doctors explain that several metal plates had to be inserted into his body because many of his bones were shattered during the car accident. The doctors also reveal something unusual. The nerve damage from the accident has greatly reduced Dave's ability to feel pain. In simple terms, he can now take far more punishment than a normal person without feeling much pain at all. A few days later, Dave returns to school for the first time since the accident. There, he discovers that a strange rumor has spread throughout the entire school. Everyone now thinks Dave is gay. Because of that rumor, Katie suddenly starts being nice to him and even asks him out for coffee. Dave's friends Todd and Marty explain that Katie only approached him because she feels comfortable around him now that she believes he isn't interested in girls. Hearing this completely crushes Dave emotionally, but at the same time, he remains determined to become kick-ass and help people no matter what. After getting home, Dave begins training even even harder than before. He also creates a profile on a social media platform called MySpace, so people can contact him whenever they need help from Kick-Ass. Soon, Dave officially starts patrolling the streets wearing his superhero suit. During one of his walks, he notices a poster about a missing cat. Wanting to help, he takes the poster and starts asking random people if they've seen the cat. Most people just laugh at his ridiculous costume and make fun of him. After searching for a while, Dave finally spots the cat sitting on top of a small shelter. He climbs up to rescue it, but while doing so, he notices several gang members brutally beating up a helpless man nearby. At that exact moment, Dave accidentally falls off the shelter and lands right in front of the thugs. Without thinking twice, Dave jumps into the fight to save the man. The gang members beat him mercilessly, but this time things are different. Even though Dave gets badly injured again, he barely feels any pain because of the nerve damage from the accident. The thugs become terrified after realizing that this crazy guy refuses to stay down no matter how badly they hit him. Eventually, they panic and run away, allowing Dave to successfully save the victim. All around them, people are recording the fight on their phones. Once those videos hit the internet, they instantly go viral. Suddenly, everyone in the city learns about a mysterious superhero named Kick-Ass, who fights criminals and helps ordinary people. News channels everywhere start talking non-stop about Kick-Ass, and before long, he becomes famous across the entire city. Later, we see Dave hanging out with Katie at a coffee shop. During their conversation, Katie tells Dave that she wants to break up with her boyfriend Russell because he's a violent thug who works for Frank. She says she doesn't want to spend her life with someone like him. Katie jokingly says that only Kick-Ass could teach Russell a lesson and make him leave her alone for good. She even starts hoping that the city's new superhero will somehow save her from Russell. After hearing this, Dave puts on his suit once again and heads to Russell's apartment in full superhero mode. Inside, Russell is surrounded by several dangerous gang members involved in criminal activities. Dave suddenly attacks Russell, trying to scare him and stop him from hurting Katie anymore. But just as Russell is about to fight back, someone attacks him from behind and instantly kills him. That's when we finally meet Mindy in her superhero identity, Hit Girl. Hit Girl moves through the room with unbelievable speed and skill, brutally taking down Russell's entire crew one by one. Just as one surviving thug tries to attack her, a sniper bullet suddenly kills him from outside the building. We then discover another masked vigilante called Big Daddy, who has been secretly working alongside Hit Girl the entire time. After the fight, Hit Girl grabs a huge pile of cash from the apartment and escapes with Big Daddy. Dave chases after her, but Mindy effortlessly jumps from rooftop to rooftop at incredible speed while Dave struggles to keep up. Back at home, Dave feels embarrassed and frustrated. He realizes that even though he's a teenage boy trying to be a superhero, he's still too scared to jump across buildings. Meanwhile, Mindy, a little girl much younger than him, is far braver, stronger, and more skilled than he is. Because of this, Dave starts feeling weak and useless compared to her. After this, we see Frank sitting with his right-hand man, Joey, discussing the recent attack. By now, they already know that two masked vigilantes named Hit Girl and Big Daddy were responsible for killing several of their men. During the conversation, they also learn about Kick-Ass and the growing attention he's getting across the city. Furious about everything that's happening, Frank immediately orders Joey to track down Kick-Ass and kill him. That same night, Mindy and Big Daddy secretly visit Dave. They warn him that he's no longer safe because he has crossed paths with some extremely dangerous criminals. According to them, it's only a matter of time before someone tracks him down, and once that happens, those people won't leave him alive. Big Daddy and Hit Girl offer to take Dave with them for protection, but Dave refuses to go. Before leaving, Big Daddy gives Dave his contact number in case he ever needs help. Meanwhile, Frank contacts a corrupt detective who secretly works for him and orders him to capture and eliminate Kick-Ass. However, the detective explains that he can't officially operate in that particular area because it falls outside his jurisdiction. At the same time, we see one of Frank's men named Cody being brutally tortured by Hit Girl and Big Daddy. They want information about Frank's criminal operations and businesses, but no matter how much pain Cody goes through, he refuses to reveal anything. Since he's useless to them, Big Daddy and Hit Girl finally kill him on the spot. Later, we see Dave and Katie growing much closer to each other. Katie tells Dave that she hasn't seen Russell in a long time, and she's starting to believe that Kick-Ass may have actually taken care of him for good. Soon after that, we're introduced to a police officer named Marcus, who visits Damon's house. Once inside, Marcus quickly realizes that Damon is actually Big Daddy. The house is filled with weapons and evidence connected to vigilante activities. Marcus finally understands why Damon is obsessed with destroying Frank. Years earlier, Frank framed Damon for a crime he never committed, causing him to spend 5 years in prison. During Damon's imprisonment, Marcus, who was Damon's close friend, helped raise and take care of Mindy. Things got even worse when Damon's wife took her own life after he was sent to prison. Ever since then, Damon has been consumed by revenge, becoming Big Daddy so he could destroy Frank and make him pay for ruining his family. While Marcus is there, Damon himself arrives home. Marcus desperately tries to convince his old friend to stop this dangerous path before it destroys Mindy's future too. He warns Damon that detectives are actively hunting Big Daddy, and if he gets caught, both his life and Mindy's life could be ruined forever. But Damon refuses to listen. His desire for revenge has completely taken over him. On the other side of the city, Dave and Katie continue getting emotionally closer. Katie tells Dave that Russell has been found dead, and she blames herself for what happened because she was the one who messaged Kick-Ass, asking him to scare Russell and teach him a lesson. Dave comforts her and explains that Russell was a terrible person who hurt others, and that's why Kick-Ass dealt with him. As he consoles Katie, romantic feelings between the two of them slowly begin to grow stronger. Meanwhile, Frank is driving somewhere late at night when he suddenly spots someone dressed as Kick-Ass walking down the street. Enraged, Frank drags the fake Kick-Ass into a dark alley and brutally beats him to death. Unfortunately, a young boy witnesses the murder, so Frank kills him too in order to silence him. But the next day, Frank discovers something shocking. The person he murdered wasn't the real Kick-Ass at all. It was just an ordinary teenager wearing a Kick-Ass costume on his way to a party. Soon after, a brand new superhero called Red Mist suddenly appears in the media, and people across the city start talking about him as well. Dave learns about Red Mist and discovers that he's supposedly a young superhero inspired by Kick-Ass himself. However, we soon realize that Red Mist is actually Chris in disguise. The entire superhero act is part of Frank's plan to gain Kick-Ass's trust and eventually capture him. Through the media, Red Mist publicly asks Kick-Ass to meet him, and Dave agrees. When the two finally meet, Red Mist tells Kick-Ass that he became a superhero because of him and says he wants to become his sidekick. Chris even shows off an expensive luxury car to impress Dave. After that, Red Mist takes Kick-Ass for a ride in the car and drives him toward a secret warehouse facility. In reality, this was Frank's plan from the very beginning. He and his men wanted to lure Kick-Ass into a trap and eliminate him once and for all. Frank feels extremely proud of Chris because his plan worked perfectly, and now they finally believe they're close to finding and killing Kick-Ass. The two of them arrive at the warehouse, only to discover that the entire place has already caught fire. However, Red Mist, aka Chris, quickly runs inside and comes back carrying a teddy bear. When Chris returns to Frank, he reveals that a hidden camera was secretly placed inside the teddy bear long ago. He explains that he installed the camera in the warehouse so they could identify anyone who ever attacked their operation. After reviewing the footage, Frank finally gets the answer he was looking for. The security camera clearly captured Big Daddy killing his men and setting the warehouse on fire. At the same time, Marcus warns Damon that Frank is now fully focused on hunting Big Daddy down and could kill him at any moment. But Damon and Mindy have already made up their minds. They want to finish this once and for all by taking Frank down before he gets to them first. Meanwhile, Dave begins questioning whether he even wants to continue being a superhero anymore. More than anything, he wants to be honest with Katie and tell her the truth. So Dave puts on his Kick-Ass suit one last time and visits Katie at her house. There, he finally reveals everything to her. He admits that he's actually Kick-Ass and also confesses that he was involved in Russell's death. Instead of being scared, Katie hugs him tightly, and the two of them grow even closer emotionally. Soon after, Red Mist messages Kick-Ass once again and asks to meet him. Dave agrees and goes to see him. During their meeting, Red Mist explains that both of them are now being blamed for the warehouse fire, and because of that, Frank will never stop hunting them down. Red Mist says they'll need help from another superhero if they want to survive. He then asks Kick-Ass if he knows anyone powerful enough to help them. Trusting him completely, Dave decides to take Red Mist to Big Daddy. But the moment they arrive, Red Mist suddenly betrays them and attacks Big Daddy. During the chaos, he even shoots Mindy. Seconds later, dozens of Frank's men storm the building because the entire thing was a trap planned by Chris from the start. Frank's men capture both Big Daddy and Kick-Ass and drag them away. Chris actually tries to stop them from taking Kick-Ass because he had started enjoying their friendship, but Frank's men ignore him and take Dave anyway. Soon after, Frank decides to publicly expose and humiliate both Kick-Ass and Big Daddy in front of the entire city. To do that, he arranges a live internet broadcast where his men brutally torture them on camera while people across the city watch. Frank's gang beats them mercilessly, pours gasoline all over them, and prepares to burn them alive during the live stream. But just before they can set them on fire, the lights suddenly go out. Nobody inside the building can see anything anymore. That's when we see Mindy wearing night vision goggles, allowing her to move perfectly through the darkness, while everyone else is completely blind. She tries to rescue Dave and Big Daddy during the confusion. However, before they can fully escape, flames suddenly spread throughout the room. Big Daddy ends up getting trapped in the fire, and despite everything, he burns to death right in front of them. Mindy somehow manages to save Dave and escape the building with him before the entire place goes up in flames. After reaching Mindy's hideout, Dave tells her that staying there is too dangerous and insists that she should leave with him. But Mindy is completely consumed by revenge now. She refuses to run away because she wants Frank dead no matter what. Dave then tells her that she won't have to fight alone anymore. He promises that he'll stand beside her and help her finish Frank once and for all. Mindy takes Dave into a hidden weapons room filled with guns, explosives, and all kinds of deadly equipment. She tells him to pick whichever weapon he wants for the final battle. Wanting to finally prove himself, Dave chooses the best weapons he can find, fully prepared to use them against Frank and his entire criminal empire. The very next day, we see Mindy disguising herself as an innocent little girl and sneaking into Frank's office building. Using her cute appearance, she easily fools several guards and slowly makes her way deeper inside the building. But once she gets close enough, Mindy finally reveals her true identity. She puts on her Hit Girl suit, grabs her weapons, and starts blasting her way through Frank's men one by one. Hit Girl moves through the building like a machine, taking down everyone standing in her path. However, during the fight, her guns suddenly run out of ammo, forcing her to take cover while enemies close in from every direction. At that moment, one of Frank's men appears carrying a massive bazooka and prepares to fire directly at Hit Girl. But just before he pulls the trigger, Kick-Ass suddenly crashes into the building from the sky. Dave had used the flying gadget Mindy gave him earlier, allowing him to make a dramatic superhero entrance. Kick-Ass immediately attacks Frank's men, creating complete chaos inside the building. Together, he and Hit Girl manage to wipe out almost everyone protecting Frank. Now the final battle begins. As Dave and Mindy move deeper into the building, they split up. Mindy goes after Frank himself, while Kick-Ass ends up facing Red Mist, aka Chris. A brutal fight breaks out between the two teenagers. Even though neither of them is a trained fighter, they keep attacking each other non-stop until both become badly injured and eventually collapse unconscious from exhaustion. At the same time, Hit Girl and Frank are locked in a deadly fight of their own. Unfortunately, Frank is much bigger and physically stronger than Mindy. After overpowering her, he violently throws her to the ground and leaves her badly injured. Frank then points his gun at Hit Girl and prepares to kill her once and for all. But at the last possible second, Dave regains consciousness. Seeing Mindy about to die, he grabs the bazooka and fires it directly at Frank. The rocket blasts Frank completely out of the building, causing a massive explosion outside. Frank is instantly killed in the explosion, and Dave successfully saves Mindy's life. After everything is finally over, Dave takes Mindy back home safely. Later, we learn that Marcus officially becomes Mindy's legal guardian and starts taking care of her like family. Mindy also begins attending the same school as Dave, finally getting a chance to live a somewhat normal life after everything she went through. And in the movie's final scene, we see Chris once again, now completely consumed by hatred and revenge. He appears wearing a strange new costume and mask while firing guns toward the screen, teasing that his story is far from over. And with that, the movie comes to an end. Sometimes the real heroes aren't the strongest people. They're just the ones brave enough to stand up when nobody else will. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to like, subscribe, and share it with your friends.